According to a report by the Wall Street Journal, Israel has reportedly carried out a strike in the Caspian Sea, targeting what is believed to be a key Iranian naval facility. This site was allegedly being used as part of a weapons supply corridor between Iran and Russia. The strike is significant because it marks the first known Israeli operation in the Caspian region, an area of direct strategic importance to Russia. Moscow has responded with a strong warning. Officials under President Vladimir Putin have described the incident as a serious provocation and say it will not go unanswered, raising concerns about a broader escalation. Sources indicate that the targeted routes were being used to transfer Iranian-made drones, including Shahed drones, as well as ammunition and other military equipment to Russia. These drones have been widely used in the war in Ukraine. And as you can see, Iran is not just launching missiles, it is systematically testing and challenging Israel's defensive systems. On Wednesday, multiple Iranian missiles struck or landed near key locations inside Israel. Some impacted near northern cities, producing large visible smoke plumes. Others caused fires and structural damage, including a warehouse strike that resulted in a significant blaze. But these events are not isolated incidents. They are part of a broader, sustained campaign. The locations being targeted are not random. Recent strikes have involved northern regions near military command areas, central urban zones, including areas around Tel Aviv, strategic infrastructure zones, such as Haifa, southern locations like Eilat, which has both economic and naval importance. These targets reveal a clear pattern. Iran is focusing on three categories. First, military command and control points, areas linked to coordination and operations. Second, infrastructure hubs, including energy, ports, and logistics. Third, population centers to create psychological pressure and disruption. This combination is deliberate. It allows Iran to simultaneously test military defenses, disrupt operations, and create public pressure. The weapons being used are a mix of different ballistic missile systems. Based on available reporting and analysis, Iran has deployed. Meanwhile, regional tensions are further heightened by reports from Al Jazeera suggesting Iran may be deploying an advanced air defense system. The system is said to have the capability to track and engage modern U.S. and allied aircraft, such as the F-35 Lightning II, F-15 Eagle, and F-A-18 Hornet. The United States has confirmed that an incident occurred involving a pilot who was rescued and required medical attention. However, reports of multiple aircraft being shot down remain unverified. The situation is rapidly evolving and could signal a dangerous expansion of ongoing conflicts, potentially drawing major global powers into closer confrontation. We will continue to monitor developments and bring you updates as more information becomes available. Medium-range ballistic missiles, solid fuel rapid launch systems, heavy payload missiles capable of carrying advanced warheads. Some known missile families used in recent waves include variants similar to Khorramshahr-type missiles, Qadr and Imad systems, newer solid fuel platforms. These missiles vary in size and capability, but they share key characteristics. They travel at high speed. They follow ballistic trajectories. They can carry advanced warheads, including cluster payloads. One of the most important factors is timing. Some Iranian missiles can reach Israeli territory in under 7 to 10 minutes. This creates a compressed response window. Even with advanced radar detection, the timeline looks like this. Launch detected, trajectory calculated, interceptors deployed, impact occurs within minutes. This reduces reaction time for both military systems and civilians. The most significant development is the use of cluster warheads. These are not standard warheads. Instead of carrying one explosive payload, these missiles release multiple smaller bombs mid-air. According to defense analysis, a single missile can release 24 to 80 submunitions. These are dispersed over a wide area. Each submunition can detonate separately. This means one missile becomes dozens of impact points. Cluster munitions are designed to maximize area damage and increase the likelihood of hitting targets. They are also highly controversial due to their indiscriminate nature. Here is how a cluster missile attack unfolds. A ballistic missile is launched and travels on a high arc trajectory. As it descends, typically at an altitude of around 7 to 10 kilometers, the warhead opens. At that moment, dozens of smaller bomblets are released. These spread out over a wide radius and fall independently. Each one becomes its own explosive threat. This transforms a single interception problem into dozens of simultaneous threats. Israel operates one of the most advanced, multi-layered air defense systems in the world. This includes Arrow system, long-range ballistic interception; David Sling, medium-range threats; Iron Dome, short-range rockets. Under normal conditions, these systems are highly effective. However, cluster warheads create a specific challenge. In addition to this, there's the challenge of saturation. Iran is not launching a single missile at a time. Instead, multiple missiles are often launched in waves. This forces defensive systems to respond to several threats simultaneously. Even a highly advanced system has limits in how many interceptions it can carry out at once. When multiple missiles approach together, combined with cluster payloads, the system is stretched beyond optimal performance. There's also a financial dimension that cannot be ignored. Each interceptor missile costs significantly more than the incoming threat. Over time, using expensive interceptors against relatively lower-cost offensive missiles creates a strain on resources. This does not immediately stop defenses from working, but it introduces long-term sustainability concerns. The longer the conflict continues, the more this imbalance becomes a factor in decision-making. As a result of these combined factors, some missiles are getting through. Even with high interception success rates, a small percentage of failures leads to real damage. When cluster warheads are involved, even a single failure can result in multiple impact points. This increases the scale of damage from each successful strike. On the ground, this translates into fires, damaged buildings, and emergency responses across multiple locations at once. It also complicates rescue and recovery operations. Unexploded submunitions can remain in affected areas, creating additional risks after the initial strike. From a strategic perspective, this approach appears designed to test and stress defensive systems. By combining speed, multiple launch waves, and complex warhead designs, the goal is not only to cause damage, but also to expose limitations in interception capabilities. This shifts the balance from pure defense toward endurance and adaptability. Beyond the immediate battlefield, the scale of missile activity is increasing. Hundreds of missiles have been launched over a relatively short period. Even with a high percentage being intercepted, the remaining percentage is enough to create consistent disruption. This pattern demonstrates that sustained pressure can produce results, even against advanced defense systems. At the same time, the conflict is expanding across multiple fronts. Pressure is not coming from a single direction. There are ongoing threats from the north, continued missile activity from the east, and unresolved tensions in the south. This forces defensive resources to be distributed rather than concentrated, reducing overall efficiency. The broader implications extend beyond military operations. Economic factors are beginning to play a significant role. Increased instability in the region is affecting global energy markets. Shipping routes are under pressure, particularly in areas critical to oil transport. This has led to fluctuations in energy prices and increased uncertainty in global trade. The cost of maintaining defensive operations is also rising. Interceptors, logistics, and continuous readiness all require significant investment. Over time, this creates a situation where financial sustainability becomes part of the strategic equation. It is not only about stopping incoming threats, but also about how long that level of defense can be maintained. There is also a noticeable gap between public messaging and operational reality. Official statements often emphasize control and effectiveness, which is expected in any conflict. However, ongoing strikes and visible damage indicate that the situation is more complex. This gap makes it more difficult to assess the true balance between offense and defense. For civilians, the impact is immediate and ongoing. Air raid sirens, emergency alerts, and disruptions to daily life are becoming routine in affected areas. The limited warning time, especially with faster missile systems, increases stress and reduces the ability to respond effectively. This adds a human dimension that goes beyond military analysis. Technological developments are also shaping the nature of this conflict. Faster missiles, mobile launch platforms, and advanced warheads are changing how engagements take place. These technologies reduce predictability and increase the difficulty of defense planning. They also indicate how future conflicts may evolve. At its core, this situation highlights a fundamental shift. Offensive capabilities are becoming more flexible and cost-effective, while defensive systems are becoming more complex and expensive. This creates a long-term imbalance that cannot be ignored. Looking ahead, several possibilities remain. The conflict could continue at its current level, escalate further, or move towards some form of stabilization. Much will depend on both military developments and diplomatic efforts. What is clear is that the current phase is not defined by a single event, but by an ongoing process. Each wave of attacks, each interception, and each impact contributes to a broader pattern. The key issue now is sustainability. How long can defensive systems operate at this intensity? How will strategies adapt to changing conditions? And what adjustments will be made as new challenges emerge? These questions will shape the next phase of the conflict. For now, the situation remains active, complex, and evolving. Thank you for watching. This is a developing situation and events are continuing to unfold in real time. As new information becomes available, the overall picture may change, and we will continue to follow those developments closely. If you found this analysis useful, consider subscribing to stay updated with clear and factual coverage. You can also share your perspective in the comments, as informed discussion is an important part of understanding complex global events. Stay informed, stay aware, and we will see you in the next video.